My wife and I love our home movie nights. I'm slowly getting her caught up on all the pop culture references she's missing, and she's slowly catching me up on the Harry Potter franchise. Again, our cozy little home theatre / living room is where we both enjoy winding down after a long day at work. I love going to the cinema, but these days we live a bit far from a cinema and don't really want to shell out $100 every time we want to enjoy a date night. But there is something to be said for the experience you get to enjoy there. The surround sound, the giant screen, the smell of popcorn, the big comfy seats make for an awesome viewing experience. We can recreate a lot of this at home, but something I've always enjoyed is how the lighting in the theatre smoothly fades out at the start of a movie and then back up again in the credits. I feel like it serves to set the scene. Everyone quiets down, the anticipation builds a little, and your new or nostalgically familiar cinematic adventure begins. I can't help but think there must be a way to recreate this at home. Our little home theatre room ticks some of those boxes. We've got a decent surround sound system, plenty of microwave popcorn, a solid TV, and a comfy couch, and I think using this fluted glass lamp that my wife loves, combined with some Home Assistant magic, we can achieve something similar to that classic movie theatre ambience here at home. Britt picked up this lamp on Facebook Marketplace for $100 a while back, and we love the interesting glow it casts on the wall at night. Plus, it adds some visual interest to an otherwise fairly boring corner of the room. I've been trying some smart features already by running the lamp through a cheap smart plug, which lets us control it from our phones or automate it to turn on and off, but it doesn't quite achieve the smooth, luxurious movie theatre vibe I'm going for. I think I can do it better. For starters, it's always at full brightness. While the warm light is great, it can be a bit blinding at midnight after finishing a film. And the smart plug makes an annoyingly loud click when we switch on the lamp, which kind of spoils the surprise and is not nearly as seamless as I'd like. Sure, I could replace the bulb with a smart one, but because the shade's glass, most smart bulbs don't really look right. There's vintage style bulbs available from various brands, even with smart features, but it can be difficult to get them in the right shape or size, especially here in Australia. And the colour of their warm white doesn't really look right to me. You may have better luck than me, but I couldn't find one that met all of my requirements. This colour issue with LED bulbs can be explained by something called CRI, or the Colour Rendering Index. Simply put, this is a measure of how natural light looks. The higher the number, the more natural it looks. Incandescent light has a CRI of 100, which is the maximum. Most cheap LED lights will have a CRI closer to 80, which often gives them an odd purple or green hue and can feel very artificial. It might not matter as much to you, but I love the warm light quality you get from an old school incandescent bulb, and I think the light kind of feels better. Yes, they're wildly inefficient, but for an accent piece like this that only gets used occasionally, I'm willing to take the hit on my power bill. After a bit of research, I think I've come up with a solution. I grabbed one of these Shelly Dimmer 2 modules. The Dimmer 2 is a Wi-Fi connected smart dimmer puck that's designed primarily to be installed in the wall behind light switches, to add smart features to your existing lighting. Similar devices are available from other manufacturers with other protocols like Z-Wave or Zigbee as well, but I went with the Shelly because they're simple to set up and well regarded among smart home enthusiasts. You can also use them without a smart hub. Shelly also integrates neatly into Home Assistant, which will be helpful for some of the automations I'd like to set up. More on those a little bit later. So, how do we integrate this module neatly into our lamp? The lamp, like most, already has an inline foot switch, which we don't need anymore. I spun up my CAD software of choice and got to work designing a new 3D printed inline enclosure for the Shelly. One of my favorite things about 3D printing is how quickly you can iterate on a design like this. With a handful of PLA prototypes, I honed in on a design that worked well and then printed a final version in black PETG that I'm happy with. I dismantled the original foot switch to reveal the screw terminals inside and remove the hot and neutral lead. The Shelly has similar screw terminals, so after consulting with the manual to make sure I was using the right ones, I reattached the wire to the correct terminals. Then I could snap the dimmer into the enclosure nice and secure. The design includes some neat little holes for cable ties for strain relief of the cable. So after running them through and snipping off the tails, I could close up the enclosure. It's pretty secure without them, but to ensure it stays together, I've included holes for some countersunk M3x12 screws in the bottom here. And that's it. The hardware side of this upgrade is done. Now we just need to get everything connected. The Shelly broadcasts its own Wi-Fi hotspot when it's first plugged in, so you can connect directly to it and configure it however you'd like. After a little bit of faffing about, my Shelly was updated, calibrated, and automatically picked up in Home Assistant. You can use Shelly's own app to configure some basic automations like turning on and off at certain times a day or switch it on and off from your phone, but we're using it exclusively in Home Assistant. It's an awesome little addition to our living room. After a week or two of experimentation and automation tweaks, we're loving it. Here's some of our favorite automations and how they work. The lamp turns on automatically when we open the front door and it's after sunset, so we can find our way to a light switch more easily. Motion's detected in the living room after we've gone to bed, it'll turn on just dimly so I can sneak out and grab a midnight snack. But most importantly, when we're watching media on Plex, which we use almost exclusively, the lamp will gracefully dim over a couple of seconds when we hit play. When we pause or stop the media, the lamp will gently fade back up, making it easier to top up the popcorn or grab another drink. If we turn off the TV to call it a night, the lamp stays on until we both have our phones plugged into charge or until an hour has passed, so we can make our way to bed and get settled without running into any furniture. Though small, this upgrade's made our movie nights so much better. We love it and visitors love how seamless it feels. It's definitely helped achieve a bit of that movie theatre experience I was hoping to replicate. Plus, the nice warm glow doesn't interrupt us when we're relaxing for bed. We don't have to blind ourselves when the dog needs to go out or we need to grab something from the kitchen. It's really just nice. This little project was a simple weekend job, and I'm glad we're able to make use of the existing lamp and save it from ending up in landfill or languishing in a corner waiting for the next time we might remember to turn it on. It's a perfect example of a smart home feature that's simple, but improves life ever so slightly. It's not obtrusive, you don't have to think about it, it doesn't require you to pull out your phone, it just happens when it should. I've uploaded all the files to printables so you can print your own inline Shelly dimmer enclosure and perform the same upgrade on your own lamp or another appliance. Of course, there are simpler methods for achieving a similar result, but as my wife will attest to, I tend to like overcomplicating things. I've also written a post that includes instructions for setting up all the automations we're using for yourself if you're interested. You'll find the link to all of those resources down in the description. So, what do you think? Do you think it's worth upgrading an old lamp like this? Would you have done something differently? Let me know in the comments. We've got some more DIY home automation projects on the way, so if you like this, consider subscribing or leaving a comment to please the almighty algorithm gods.